Greetings, Weirdlings. I am Danny Danger, and this is my pull list for July 8th. Hey, have you subscribed to our channel? Are you one of us? I mean that in a creepy, not like in a non-cultish way. I don't know if there's a way I can say that not creepy. Subscribe to our channel, be our friend. That's gonna get us a whole flurry of new subscribers. You're welcome. In Gotham Academy number 8, Olive comes back. Maps has lost Damien, which is kind of a bummer because I really liked that last issue, but there's going to be a funeral. Gotham Academy is not a safe place to send your children, parents. In Black Science number 16, I predict that things are going to go from bad to worse because that's what they keep doing. And it's really funny to me how every parallel dimension had the same betrayer, but it wasn't the same betrayer because there's another betrayer. So it's basically like one of those situations where the lead character can't trust anyone, can't even really actually trust multiverse versions of himself. In fact, I think it could be argued that the multiverse versions of himself are even less trustworthy. Ugh, what a crappy situation. I don't trust the multiverse versions of me either, to be fair. I think they're pretty mischievous, up to no good, ne'er-do-well. So Saga number 30. Seriously, Saga number 29? Is that how you're gonna do me? That's what we're gonna do? It's cool. I wasn't connected to any of the characters that I love. I wasn't, nope, we had a comment a couple of weeks back where somebody told me that they threw their Saga comic across the room. I sympathize. We have a ton of Secret Wars titles coming out. 1872 number 1 comes out. You've got an old Western tale with Sheriff Steve Rogers. I'm actually really excited about this one because I love Westerns and I'm totally a sucker for like taking my favorite superheroes and just like dropping them in the Old West. There's an episode of Justice League Unlimited where Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Batman go back in time and they meet like Jonah Hex, and it's like one of my absolute favorites because I'm from Texas and I like cowboy stories. Civil War number 1 is going to be really interesting to me because the premise is basically that the Civil War is never stopped, that it has continued to be fought, which is kind of weird for me because one of my favorite aspects of the Civil War story was the ending and the choice that Cap made. Now, I won't do any spoilers. If you haven't read it, you absolutely should. It's really good, but I'm curious how they are going to mesh the ending of the original Civil War with this reemergence of the Secret Wars Civil War. Still hate Tony Stark, throwing that out there. Ghost Racers number 2 comes out, and I loved the first issue of this, although putting all the Ghost Riders together, you would think there would be a little more common ground, but it seems like everybody's got some crappy feelings towards Robbie Reyes, who is my favorite Ghost Rider, so obviously I'm picking a side. But I think we're gonna find out a little bit more about why these other Ghost Riders have animosity towards Robbie, and I think it's jealousy over that fly ride. Master of Kung Fu number 3 comes out. I'm really excited. Every 13 years, the Emperor can be dethroned. So 13 years has come around and it's about time for a rumble, and I'm really excited to see if his son can pull off dethroning him and bring justice back to the land of Kunlun. Runaways number 2. The first issue of this series was so good. If you're an old Runaways fan, you'll love it. If you've never read the Runaways, you'll love it. You like Lumberjanes, you'll love it. Molly Hayes, aka Princess Powerful, is back. If you don't know anything about this comic, you should pick it up because I just told you there's a superhero in it named Princess Powerful. Duh, come on. The kids are all gearing up for their final exams. By the way, final exams are deadly, so if you fail, you die. What is the deal? This is like the theme of like schools you should never send your kids to. No Gotham Academy, no Runaway, just don't. Homeschool your kids. Just homeschool your kids. Squadron Sinister number 2 comes out, another Secret War title. This is a really convoluted story, but it's a really good, really convoluted story. So I think I'm gonna go back and reread the first issue, get on my Wikipedia a little bit to make sure that I know who everyone is, but the Howling Commandos are about to make an appearance? Like, seriously? I actually really love the Howling Commandos. Like, the more Howling Commandos that you can feasibly fit into a storyline, like, that's pandering. Pander to me, give me Howling Commandos. Mark Waid and Fiona Staples are rebooting Archie. I'm getting the Chip Zdarsky cover. #1 comes out this week. I'm really, really excited. If you haven't seen our show, .geek, a long time ago when they talked about this series first coming out, we talked about how exciting I was about Archie being rebooted and why I think it's such a big deal. Archie has always been really relevant. It's a gateway comic for so many comic book fans who were reading at a preteen or teenager age. So I think that rebooting Archie with a fresh outlook, great idea. Also, Fiona Staples draw all the things. We've also got Inferno #3 and Swords of Sorrow #3 on my pull list. What's on your pull list? Hey, you should tell me down below in the comments. The comments section is a really cool place for wonderful questions that I am about to answer right now. Sergeant America asked how I organize my comics in a to-read list. What is this organizing comics you speak of? Like, how does it work? By the way, happy 4th of July, Sergeant America. I do sort of organize my comics. I keep them in a, everything I haven't read I keep in a short box in rough alphabetical order. But there are some things that immediately get moved to the front that don't even make it into the box, like Sex Criminals, Saga, Rat Queens, Alex Posada. It's gone now. Nikki B said that Grayson is actually one of the best comics that DC is putting out right now. That is a thing I have heard to be true, and I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised. But I'm pleasantly surprised. So last week we also did a video about queer relationships and how they're represented in comics to celebrate the marriage equality ruling, and one of the things that I mentioned was the new Grayson comic and how there was a panel in the comic that may or may not have queer-baited him being bisexual. Now, apparently, as I understand it, this was taken out of context, but there are still a lot of hints or possibilities that he might be coming out queer. Yeah, but seriously, are you straight? I'll play your little game. I'll play your little game. Are you straight? I want to know. No, really, tell me. Tell me now. Issue #10. Jon Snow's Direwolf asked if I read Starfire #1. I did. I will not be picking up #2. Starfire is a really difficult character for me because it is really, really easy to objectify and overtly sexualize a character who is literally a living expression of love and affection. I think there are appropriate ways to do this without making the female protagonist of a comic the butt of every sex joke, and I feel like the first issue of that comic was just repeated sex joke after repeated sex joke, which I'm totally okay with, but when you put your hero and your protagonist as the butt of those jokes every time, I'm not so much on board. I'm supposed to want to support your character, not make fun of your character. And Mr. T-Bone asked if there are any comics I have ever thrown out because I just didn't think they were worth keeping space for. I think the only comic that I've ever actually thought, hey, this is on my bookshelf and I don't really want it there because it's not one of my favorites and I can move it along, was Kick-Ass. It's one of those things that I liked it when I first read it, and then I went and reread it and didn't enjoy it as much. Second time, third time, didn't really enjoy it at all. So, to make space, move it along now, Sonny. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our series. We do this all the time. We're putting out more content all the time, all day, every day. Be sure to like it to tell us that you appreciate what we do. We really need your validation. A special thanks, as always, goes out to Austin Books and Comics, this fine establishment for great reading. Look at this. Look